If you were a kid in the 50s, 60s, 70s, into the 80s, you know the Stuckey's name. Roadside stores on virtually every highway in America filled with candies, treats, pecans, unimaginable delights that you just couldn't find anywhere else. If you were at Stuckey's, it meant you were on the road and out of school, probably going someplace fun like the beach, maybe even grandma's house. It also meant you were free. And to millions of Americans, Stuckey's meant the road and it meant freedom. But tastes change, brands fade, time marches on. Now, a new generation is bringing it back with the help of farmers and a focus on local. Come on, let me take you where the food comes from. Stephanie Stuckey. We never met until really just a few minutes ago, but I kind of feel like I know you. I spent so much time with your family when I was a kid. I spent so much time in your stores. If you were in Stuckey's, you were on your way to some place, some unknown adventure yet to reveal itself. And part of that adventure was always gonna be Stuckey's. To us, it was so special. To you, it's Grandpa's store.
My grandfather sold the company, and it was out of our family hands for decades, and then we got it back. So he sold Stuckey's a year before I was born.
That must have been a little bit frustrating to some degree
Right?
as a kid. There's our stores.
I experienced Stuckey's just like you did, just like everyone else. We road tripped on vacations in the 1970s. There was no other way to travel except in a Woody station wagon on the interstate, right?
And if
That's
you're
how
on the
we
interstate
traveled.
and you're on the road, you're looking for Stuckey's.
Yeah. And we pulled over like everyone else.
You're most known, most famous for the famous pecan log roll.
That's right.
And other pecan products. Georgia is the leading pecan producer in the
Thank
United
you.
States most
We are.
years, almost every year.
Yeah, the pecan is at the root of everything that we do at Stuckey's. So we started in 1937 during the Great
37.
Depression.
Oh, what a great time to start a business.
Right? It's actually the best time. Were it not for the Depression, my grandfather would have continued his studies. He was studying to be a lawyer at the University of Georgia. He had to drop out because his family had to bring him back home to farm cotton. And he did not like farming cotton, so pecans were his side hustle. And my grandfather would go around all the farms on the countryside and he would buy up their pecans.
It was an ornamental tree.
Yeah, a
that
shade tree.
It lasted a long time. It got very big.
Yes.
It had a beautiful canopy
Right.
and it provided the shade.
He was buying from people who grew other things or just had pecans in their yard. He would buy them and then he would shell them. And then my grandmother started making candy.
Oh boy.
So we had the pralines, the divinity, the fudge.
And was this
then
just like a
pecan
little
log roll.
roadside stand?
So
or-
roadside stand.
Wow, so just
Yeah.
people passing by.
Passing by.
And that was in Eastman, Georgia.
That was in Eastman, and so before there was TA or Pilot or Love's or Buc-ee's, there was
There was
Stuckey's.
a Stuckey's on the side of the road.
He really came up with the very first roadside retail chain that
Oh, wow.
offered, as we grew, so from those humble beginnings, that little stand, he soon, within a few years, had a store that had a clean restroom, and he would advertise ice water so you could get a cold drink. It was like a franchise. He had husband and wife teams who lived in the stores.
Oh, wow.
So those old original buildings had living quarters. Owner, managers would be a husband and wife team, and they would live in the store. And I've talked to so many people who grew up in a Stuckey's.
At the peak, what was the stores? I think it was almost 400.
It was
Stuckey's
368 in 40 states.
368 in 40 states.
40 states.
Wow.
Every major interstate, pretty much. I mean, we spanned as far as California. We had a couple of stores in Washington.
Then came the sale to Pet.
Yes,
And
Pet
the
Dairy.
family was out of Stuckey's. You began a career in law, politics. Why on earth at 53 would you wake up and say, I'm going to take all of my money and buy the family brand back?
It was for sale. My father had gotten the company back in the mid-'80s.
Okay.
He pairs Stuckey's with Dairy Queen, props up what's left of Stuckey's at that point, and keeps the business going. He and all his business partners then sell their Dairy Queen business, and Stuckey's is left with just a handful of folks running it for about a decade. They knew that the company needed a refresh, and they asked the remaining grandchildren if any of us were interested, and I said,
and there it was.
I'll do
now,
it.
Tell
I'll do
me
it.
What,
Put me in.
What did you say the next morning when you woke up, though?
Right, what the heck have I done?
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah, I think
That's the one.
naivete is my superpower.
Several years ago in my travels, I started noticing Stuckey's products starting to pop back up in some of the other stores that I went to. What is your vision for the future for Stuckey's as this continues to grow?
Task number one was to get us back literally to our roots. The road to profitability has been getting into manufacturing in this wonderful town of Wrens, Georgia. And my first day on the job, I actually enrolled us in the Georgia Grown program.
And that is a label.
It's a label.
You'll see it proudly on everything that Stuckey's produces pretty much.
Yeah.
And it lets people know where that's from.
Yeah, we source all of our nuts from the state of Georgia. Our packaging comes from North Carolina. We source our spices and ingredients and our flavorings. All of that is from the United States. But despite the fact that we're now focused on manufacturing product, we're still about the road trip. That's in our DNA. It will always be a part of our story and our brand. We foresee like maybe having 5 stores that would be true destination locations. We would invest a lot in them, and they would be special and unique and different. I think more kids, more generations need to be exposed to the joy of pulling over and buying a whoopee cushion and a coonskin cap and a kitschy souvenirs,
pop gun and
pop
everything
guns.
else, but we could return to the days of eat here, get gas.
You know, it may be eat here and charge up. I drive an electric vehicle.
That's true. Eat here
So,
and plug in.
Eat here and plug
Which
in.
sounds a lot better,
Right?
than
There's no double entendre there.
True.
Yeah, our future is making the most delicious pecan snacks you will find anywhere. I want us to be the go-to brand that you will look for on the snack aisle in your grocery store, in your convenience store, in your favorite specialty retail store.
Now you are saying pecan.
Yeah.
We've heard pecan, we've heard pecan, we've heard everything in between.
So it can be pecan,
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 pecan.
pecan.
So my grandfather said pecan, and he would say they're pecans when you pick them, pecans when you sell them.
It's a wonderful story.
Yeah.
And you know, I gotta admit now, for some time now, I've been really looking forward to a particular moment. My whole life, I have been the kid who wanted to get loose in the candy factory.
We're about to do that.
Can we go get loose in the candy factory?
You absolutely can. You got to put a hairnet on, but let's do it.
I'm fine with
and
that.
I think there may be a beer net involved.
I'll put a body net on.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Let's get. Can we go?
Let's do it.
I mean,
Let's
seriously.
go.
All right, let's do
All
it.
right.
Go.
All right, let's go.
Lead the way. Lead the way. I expected to come through this door, Stephanie, and see machines and plants and manufacturing.
Yeah.
These are real human beings. Hi, ladies. How are you? Oh, my.
You can't touch it yet. You got to get your glove on.
wait,
You got our
safety
food
first.
safety.
I guess she thinks I'm going in with both hands.
Yeah, well.
Made with love. And it sure is good. Oh, man.
So these are the finished product. I am not going to eat the profits, so
No,
I will wait till
absolutely.
they're. I will gladly wait for a reject. That's usually what I like to.
You can't dip into your own supply, I think, you know.
These will be in a store near you, hopefully very soon, or you can buy them online.
Do you always smell like chocolate, or is that your perfume?
Yeah.
So where we're
Yeah.
coming into the process, these are roasted pecans
Yes.
that have already been through one coating
Yes.
of white chocolate. And now, Adriana, you're putting the You're getting them ready and lining them
She's
up
lining
to
them
go
up.
through and get that next bath.
And look how fast she is. You gotta keep up. You definitely do not slow down the production line here. Look
I don't think
this
I'm good at this.
one.
Oh my.
Somebody's getting a bonus.
That one looks
Yeah.
like
And
that
look,
one looks
here's
like
a
mine.
reject. I might be sampling that one for
That-
some
yeah.
quality control.
You couldn't put that out
Yeah,
in
that's
front
a
of the
quality
public,
control.
Stephanie. You
No,
have to eat that.
I have
There's
to.
no
I
question.
just have to sample that
Here,
one.
we're doing our. I don't think
You're
we're
not,
really helping
It has
her.
to be
do you?
lined up. So this machine is called an enrober.
I think she'll be glad when we're gone and she's enrobing by herself again.
Now, how many rows do we need? 5? 5 rows. Okay, Chip, I'm sorry, but you're kind of messing up there.
I'm not gonna apply for jobs, Stephanie. So
I'm just saying you're behind in the production right now. You've gotten a little behind. Just not keeping up with the production.
sorry.
Yeah.
I kept being told how not right I was doing it, so I thought maybe I could help. That's 4, Stephanie. That's 4. Thought she said 5, and you only had 4.
I was getting to it.
You said I'm
I was
not
getting
helping
to it. I
out.
was getting to it.
Inside here is your childhood dream. This is a vat of melted chocolate.
And look at this one. And see, this has got the white chocolate in it.
Oh, yum.
Yeah. And then this is milk.
And of course, this would be the bigger one,
Bleh.
being the milk
Look at that.
chocolate. Oh my goodness. Oh, the smell coming off of that is
Yeah.
just like, it's like hot cocoa on a winter morning. These look sinfully wonderful. What is
Yeah.
this?
They're what a lot of folks refer to as turtles. We call them gophers, but it's
Gophers?
the same thing. It's pieces of pecan with caramel at the bottom, and then we top it off with delicious chocolate. We have milk and white chocolate. See, that's the caramel on the top.
Yeah.
The caramel we make from scratch. And then there's another
scratch?
machine over here, yeah, that dollops the chocolate.
They're melting down the butter. They're melting down the sugar. They're starting to make the caramel.
Caramel.
And
Yeah.
that's going to go on everything from a popcorn glaze to those
Pecan log
gophers that we
rolls.
saw. We're sitting here looking at real butter, real nuts, everything we've seen today. And it's all
Yeah.
happening right here, not in some other
Yeah.
country. Not we bring the nuts here and then we put the chocolate there and then we do the caramel there.
No,
it's all
we're
happening
making it
right here
here.
in Wrens, Georgia.
This is old school candy making that dates back hundreds of years. The use of copper pots.
Yeah.
They get the even temperature.
Right?
And so it really does make a difference in the final product when you use the right, there's popcorn popping. You hear it? See it? That's the popcorn.
It's like the best movie theater popcorn ever.
Yeah.
Except it's a giant vat. And it's
Yeah.
getting so loud. Stephanie, it's starting to sound like a
I know.
thunderstorm on the roof.
It's hunky dory day.
Oh
Hunky
man.
dory.
Oh boy.
Hunky dory.
There's our man.
I am doing a video for my father. He loves this. So yummy. Wow.
So yeah, look at that. That's the one I do want. But you couldn't get very many of those in a package, right? Well, it's actually a good size right here. Oh man.
This is very therapeutic. You know, it's kind of relaxing.
Yeah, I know, right?
Kind of edible yumminess.
That's
And then you-
how I fill up my bowl.
Your bowl,
No,
right?
okay.
Your
All right.
personal snack
That's
bowl.
it. That's my Super Bowl bowl. The one thing I don't like about television is I can't tell you how things smell. You just have to take my word for it. Tell me what this smells like.
Smells like heavens.
That was
It
the
smells like
actual
heaven.
word that I was going to say. R.G. Lamar, you're the other side of the coin here at Stuckey's. You're the farm guy. You're the pecan guy.
That's right.
We already figured out Stuckey's is not a candy story. It's not a treat story. It's a farm story, and it's a pecan story at heart. In this oven, or blancher, or whatever you professionally call it, Mr. FJ, what do you call it?
Roaster.
A roaster. You know, why didn't I think about that? This is really from the time it leaves the tree, when it goes in there is when the next phase of Stuckey's start?
We spend the mornings doing the first step, and that takes a couple hours, and then we come back about 10 o'clock in the morning, and that's when we start roasting.
So, and then that process will go on just until you have enough production for
Well, it'll
the
go
next
on
run,
the rest of the day till we need to clean up, basically.
So it just keeps going, and then it starts over again the next day.
That's it. Yep.
And that's every day?
That's every day.
So this is not seasonal at all.
Right, yeah, I mean, we sell our roasted and coated nuts in, you know, you name it, a lot of grocery stores, a lot of convenience stores, so that goes year round. We lower those nuts into the oil and roast them, pick them up with a hoist and drop them down on this table right behind you, and mix all the seasoning in with them, and then they get poured in 30-pound boxes and put up in storage. And then when we get an order, we'll pull those out, pack them, put them in a case, put them on a truck. This handmade process is still the way we're doing it. Some of this stuff will scale up with more automation over time. Other things can't be scaled up. Like you got I saw you taking footage of the glazed pecans here just a minute ago. Those are made in copper kettles, and they'll always be made in copper kettles.
There's not a machine to do that.
You're not going to automate that.
These are surviving original packages.
That's
How
right.
did you come across these things?
My mom gave me 6 boxes of my grandfather's archives. And these were in those boxes, with the exception of this one. I like that this has a little story to it. So a woman who my father knew gave him this. It was like at his local drugstore that he always went to, and she said, I found this in my garage cleaning up stuff, and I found this old box. And so they gave it to us. They thought they should return it to the motherland, return it to the Stuckey family.
Now this was the giant Mondo pecan log. If you really wanted to impress Grandma, you saved up all your money.
Look at that.
So you could buy that thing.
And
But
I love the
that's-
doily, so that was part of our early branding, was the doily. And look at the font. I'm such a font geek.
I think from what I know of the story, this was the first candy that your
Yes,
grandmother made.
it was.
So this, even though the pecan log roll, which y'all invented and became famous for, this was really the
That was the
origin
first.
point
Yeah,
of
that
the
was
company.
the first. Yeah, and
Was the
fudge. She made
pecan
pecan
praline.
fudge early on, so that
Wow.
dates way back. We've done the past, looking at the old candy boxes.
Sure.
This is what we're making today.
It looks very much like the past, but did I hear someone say that that was your grandfather's
Yes.
signature?
Signature.
That was his signature, and that has been the Stuckey's logo.
And this was the original logo. So we went back to the very first logo. Of course, we're very proud that we've been around since 1937. And then home of the original pecan log roll. We want to make sure there are many,
Well, you invented
many
it,
imitators,
so you're,
right?
you're,
But we're the original.
so, and then we're starting to get into my more favorite part of the world, where we get into the chocolates and the milk chocolate pretzels, glazed pecans, cinnamon pecans, bourbon pecans.
And then this is just your classic pecan
And
that you might
that
find in the
is
grocery
the
aisle,
heart
right?
of Stuckey's.
Yeah, so you can
That's
find
the
this
heart
in
of
the
brand.
produce aisle.
That's the origin of the brand, and that's going to be in grocery stores.
Grocery
and the produce
stores,
aisle.
yeah, produce aisles. They've got the good fats, the omega fats, and they're anti-aging.
Good for your heart.
I
Good
like
for your
that.
brain. Good for
Good for
everything.
your heart.
Eat more
Make
pecans.
your hair grow,
Eat more pecans.
make your skin glow, and they are, the most important thing, they're delicious, right? This is just like a bag of yumminess.
I personally was especially glad several years ago to start seeing Stuckey's products popping up in stores where I traveled. That meant I could always, whenever I was heading home to see my father, grab a pecan log roll, probably 2. Dad loved them, but I think more than that, he loved the memories, and so did I. We lost him in 2020, but it's good to think that there will be other generations who'll have a chance to make memories like that of their own out here where the food comes from.